How Jewish am I?
I am very Jewish.
I don't know, I'm just Jewish. I don't know how to answer that question.
For me, be Jewish, it's mean that never stop. I always have a question, something new, something more. And what did this think about and why I'm here?
Being Jewish is being part of a community.
You meet other Jewish people and connect with them.
A lot of components belong to Judaism, so you have tradition, you have culture, you have language, you have community.
As a Jew, I would define myself as I already said, as being more traditional. I don't necessarily have to go to the synagogue, sort of feel Jewish, but I think that there are also a lot of opportunities to be Jewish outside of the official formal community.
My first interaction with Jewish life, I think it was when I was sent by my parents to Sarvash. From there I started to know what's the community. I met so many people and it totally changed my perspective of what Jewish means.
Right now I was at the event with the singing, where we chanted and learned different types of songs. And what I thought really was fascinating is that in the same song, we switched from Ashkenazi to Sephardi songs, and we did it all in one song without interrupting. So it was very nice to see that different cultures could be one, and you can combine them, and you don't have to be exclusively one.
The last session that I was at was about emotional intelligence. It's something that I know that sometimes a lot of problems with dealing with emotions, so it was actually very interesting to see that a lot of people have the same problems.
What really touched me is this morning I attended Martin's meditation session, and he related Judaism and a Jewish journey to some Hollywood classic films like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and brought it to like a Kabbalistic tie, and just made me question, like, what is it that I'm going to do next to push myself outside of my comfort zone?
The Jews and the women in the Jewish culture maybe doesn't take such a big part, because it's always like about the men. And yesterday I understood that it's okay if a woman wants to take the same part as a man does.
I love Judaism because it's a process and it walks, and it's bringing in all those cultural aspects. All these socially important aspects are now also coming into Judaism, like feminism and LGBT, and I really like that also the Orthodox world is opening up to it, and I'm very excited about that too.
What I would do to give back to my community is I would need to spend time immersing myself in the community, and then work with the community to empower them, together decide on what it is that the change needs to be. And I don't know what my community is, so I think the first question would be trying to figure out what my community is and then immersing myself in it.
If I could give back to my Jewish community, I think it would be feelings of community, of joy, and how would I implement that? I think first through education, showing that everyone's accepted in Judaism, and also through, which we also learned today, is smart tzedakah, the concept of giving and smartly and receiving by giving.
I think that I already give a lot to the Jewish community in Munich. I started Moishe House last year, so 7 months ago. Money is always a problem because we're not able to do as many big events as we would like to. So if money was not an issue, I would definitely like to do bigger events and maybe bring more interesting speakers, or like be able to take a trip somewhere as a Moishe House or as a community.
I grew up in Jerusalem, so it's a very Jewish atmosphere. And generally Jewish experience. I think what I also love about Judaism is that it supports asking questions. And so when I came to Germany, my friends started asking me, well, why don't you turn on the light on Shabbat? Why? And before that, I have never been encountered with those kind of questions. Even though Judaism is about asking questions, I never asked those questions. Really, like, what happens when you turn on the light? Like, do you die? So that was a cool experience for me, to combine the non-Jewish world with the Jewish world and make myself, through that, understand Judaism on a deeper level.
It's very different growing up in Uruguay. I think in the last couple of years in Germany, a lot of people are saying, yeah, there's no future for Jews in Europe. And it's something that I completely disagree with. I'm seeing it a lot in Germany, and I'm super happy about it, that there are more and more young people becoming active in different communities, in different Jewish student unions. We have a lot of local unions in Germany growing very fast. That gives me a lot of hope.
I was just at lunch with someone, and she put it really well, that her mom's Russian and her dad's Italian, and she feels like she never fits in a Russian community because she feels too Italian. She never fits in an Italian community because she feels so Russian. And here she feels at home.
Being in a room with so many people with different backgrounds coming from so many countries, I think makes us more united and more Jewish. It's the difference that connects us.
You start talking and you always find something in common.
As an American, I oftentimes take for granted that I can just, walk in somewhere and feel comfortable, or, that a different Jewish opportunity will be presented for me. But spending time living in London and interacting with European Jewry, you see that you really have to create what you want. And I think Junction provides that means for people to, be able to bond and create together.